Deters, the Bulldog on Real Talk 1160. It is going to be a beautiful day. If you are working, the day will still be nice when you're finished working. And if you're not working, you have a day that you can work in the yard and do whatever you like. Hit the golf course. And I just want to invite all of my fans, friends, clients, down tomorrow here at the radio station parking lot. It's Fox 19 Plaza at 635 West 7th Street, Fox 19 Plaza, tomorrow from 5 to 7. We're going to have some music in the parking lot. We're going to have some Montgomery and ribs. I don't know how long they're going to last. And some drinks. And we can hang out in the parking lot. And if you have not met me, you can stop by and meet me. You can also come up and look what our law office looks like, which is like a law office. It's like, who cares? That's why we're having food and drinks, to lure you down here. And the idea of this, let's just be candid, is not only an open house, but for business. In case, see, the idea is this, if you get ran over by a dump truck and you just get your legs broke, you'll call upon the Bulldog. If you get arrested for the drug dealing you're doing out of the back of your trunk of your car, you'll call the Bulldog if I give you some ribs and a beer.
Before they confiscate your cell phone.
Correct. That's correct. Now, TC's had cell phone trauma yesterday. We learned his cell phone was dropped. So then he got a backup cell phone.
Yeah, my daughter said, don't get a phone. We're close to getting the upgrade in about a month. So I said, wait, you get the free upgrade. They had this old phone, the house phone, that no one was really using. Daddy used this phone. All right, great. I didn't even know what the number was. I had to call somebody and ask them what number came up on their caller ID. When I realized this is my daughter's old phone, because we got her a smartphone or an iPhone for her birthday back in October. And I realized she didn't delete all of her text messages from, at least the past few months of 2011, last few months of 2011. Now, I ask you, Bulldog, you're a father, you have daughters. My daughter's 19. As a father, do I read her text messages?
And my answer was?
No.
Exactly.
I say, why not?
And the reason why I say no is I have never spied upon my kids. I'm not naive. I know they're up to no good at times. But I've just never been a spyer. I've respected their privacy. My parents did too. Now, there's an exception.
Okay.
If I was suspicious of one of my children doing some really bad stuff, I would check them out. So are you suspicious of your daughter doing bad things?
No, and that's the thing. She's not, she's the good child.
Then don't look.
She's the one that never does anything.
You will never forgive yourself if you look.
Oh, I'll forgive
myself. For two reasons. A, if you look and you don't find anything, you're going to feel bad. Two, you might see things you don't want to see, TC.
Now, that's true. Now, that's what I'm more concerned about. Because because she's not the problem child, I'm thinking, maybe she's just that good at concealing things, you know?
She could be.
That's the only, she is. I have no reason to accuse her of anything, to doubt her of anything, and I hope she's still sleeping. But I just want to make sure. Of course, I could end up in jail if I find out something I didn't want to know. Ladies
and gentlemen of the American jury, if you want to give TC some advice, look or not look, 513-579-1160. Today in history is incredible. It's incredible. And it's some great discussion stuff. Chicago Republican Convention in 1860 selected Abraham Lincoln.
Is that right?
In 1861, Kentucky proclaimed its neutrality. And I found out yesterday from Larry Forgy, I didn't realize this, they were neutral the entire war, then joined the Confederacy after they knew the Confederacy lost.
What?
That didn't make sense, did it?
Not at all.
By one vote, the Senate failed to impeach Andrew Johnson in 1868. This is great stuff, folks.
I like David Williams for that.
1770, Marie Antoinette, age 14, married the future King Louis XVI of France, who was 15. And we've got teachers being prosecuted, 14 and 15. Of course, at least Louis wasn't 28.
Right.
But isn't that wild? They were married at 14 or 15 and 15.
Man.
The first Academy Awards were presented.
Really?
Wings won with Best Production. That's 1929. What the heck is Wings?
Must have been a movie.
The first woman in 1975 climbed Mount Everest. Jungo Tabai. Ready for this? 1869, the Cincinnati Reds played their first baseball game and won 41-7.
Whoa.
A pitcher's duel.
We have one pitcher.
And in 1891, George A. Hormel and Company introduced Spam.
Oh.
Do we have that clip from? We got to get that clip. Spam. While you're looking for that, I'll continue. 1918, the Sedition Act of 1918 is passed. Joan of Arc was canonized as a saint in 1920. Here's something that's hilarious. 1939, folks. Food stamps first issued. Campbell Soup introduced SpaghettiOs in 1965. Michael Jordan named NBA Rookie of the Year at 85. 1988, Surgeon General Everett Koop reports nicotine as addictive as heroin. And finally, 1988, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled trash may be searched without a warrant. You know, if you take you do not have a reasonable expectation of privacy, just so you know.
Really?
And you're trash. Do we have spam? The most important thing is spam. Do we have spam? It's so funny.
You ever had Spam?
One time. Yuck.
It's great with green water.
George A. Hormel Company gave us Spam, folks. But Monty Python immortalized it.
It's pork shoulder and ham.
Here they come.
That's your feel-good song right there.
There's your spam.
Spam. Everybody have some Spam today.
Your famous birthdays. Megan Fox, 26.
Meow.
Who, by the way, The Dictator came out last night at midnight, and Megan Fox is in that. Apparently, The Dictator pays her for a night. Janet Jackson is 46. She will always be that wardrobe malfunction. Pierce Brosnan, 59. Mr. 007, once upon a time. Those were the trifecta birthdays. Not pretty good. Megan Fox, Janet Jackson, Pierce Brosnan.
Not bad at all. Not bad.
Sad report, military deaths. Private First Class Richard McNulty III, 22, of Rolla, Missouri, assigned to the 425th Brigade Special Troops Battalion. Army Casualty Sergeant Brian L. Walker, 25, of Lucerne Valley, California, assigned to the 425th Brigade. God bless them. God bless the Army, the Navy, the Marines, the Corps, the Coast Guard, the National Guard, and their families. Today's forecast we've already covered. It's sunny, high at 76. Got a special oracle to give today. I hope I pronounced this guy's name right. David Ubel, the Claremont County Commissioner, owns and lives on an American bison ranch and owns part of a small gun parts manufacturer. The closest thing to the Wild West you can get living in Ohio.
That makes sense. If you got bison, you probably should have guns.
We got to give him oracle status. He deserves it. That was like a stuttering oracle status.
Yeah.
Oracle status. Jack Wagons, the FAA will ease rules for police agencies to fly unmanned drones over U.S. I'm telling you, we're becoming a police state, TC. And how about Bill Clinton? Bill Clinton has been campaigning for Obama, but he's been like, it's like, we got to do something now. You know, we should have passed the Erskine Bowles Simpson plan. We should have done this. It's like, holy cow. He's criticizing everything that's going on while campaigning for Barack Obama.
He's doing about as much good for Barack Obama as Joe Biden.
You're right.
You know? I think Bill's a smart guy. There's an ulterior motive. He said
Hillary, 2016, Bulldog versus Hillary. Remember, I'm moving up my 2020 campaign to 2016 if Hillary runs in 2016. When we come back, folks, I have a knee-slapping joke that was submitted by Bulldog Nation member Gwen. We come back, Radio Superbity on Real Talk 1160.
Coming up at 7:28 this morning, Bill O'Reilly's Talking Points here on Real Talk 1160. And now back to the Bulldog.
Eric Deters, the Bulldog on Real Talk 1160. We're going to cover it all, folks. The news, there's lots in the news. But before we do, let's get in a good mood here. The local news station was interviewing an 80-year-old lady because she had just married the fourth time. The interviewer asked her questions about her life, about what it felt like to be married again at 80, and then about her new husband's occupation. He's a funeral director, she answered. Interesting, the newsman thought. He then asked her if she wouldn't mind telling him a little bit about her first three husbands, what they did for a living. She paused for a few moments, needing time to reflect on all those years. After a short time, a smile came to her face, and she answered proudly, explaining that she had been married a banker when she was in her early 20s. Then a circus ringmaster when in her 40s. A preacher in her 60s. And now in her 80s, a funeral director. In her 20s, a banker. Her 40s, a ringmaster of the circus. A preacher in her 60s. And now a funeral director. The interviewer looked at her quite astonished and asked why she had married 4 men with such diverse careers. She smiled and explained, I married 1 for the money, 2 for the show, 3 to get ready, and 4 to go. Is that not great?
That was worth the wait. Yeah. Hey, shut up, guys. That was a good joke. We liked it. It was good. Oh, get out of here. That was a great joke. That was worth the wait. Yeah. Good midweek joke here. You having some issues over there with the headphones? You can't hear anything I'm saying, can you?
I think that was a good joke.
That was a great joke.
And that was by Gwen.
Thank you, Gwen, for that.
Bulldog Nation member Gwen.
That was well worth. Is it hot in here to you?
Yes, and it is hot. And by the way, true story, my dad's good buddy, Jimmy Beckett.
Yeah.
True story. Married 3 different women that he was married to for 20 years each. I'm not kidding. 20 years each. Each died.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
They're all buried next to each other.
Really?
He outlived 3 wives, married to them each 20 years.
I bet that's an unsettled
Just like
plot.
this. 1 for the money, 2 for the show, 3 to get ready, 4 to go. I love that.
That was really good.
Let me see.
Better be the joke writer every day.
Are you ready for some pop culture?
I suppose we are.
Some great pop culture, folks. Robert Downey Jr., the 47-year-old actor, will make $50 million off the film.
Whoa.
The Madonna. Photo of her lying naked on a bed smoking a cigarette sold for $23,750. Here's my rhetorical question. How much would your photo lying naked on a bed with a cigarette fetch?
How much would you
Not
pay
yours. I'm talking about Bulldog Nation members out there.
How much would I pay to have that retrieved from the internet?
What do you think, folks? By the way, if you would like us to kind of like give you feedback on what we thought your photo would bring, send your photo of you lying naked with the cigarette to eric@ericdeters.com, and we'll tell you what we think you could get.
Now watch, the 2 fat guys will be the only ones to send in, you know?
Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie have forked over $16 million to reside in Warren's Palace in the West London town of Richmond for 15 months. $1 million a month.
Wow.
That's incredible and stupid.
And who says the housing market's going down?
Lady Gaga will likely have to cancel her Indonesian concert scheduled for next month after police refused to give her the necessary permit following protests by some Islamic groups who say she dresses provocatively. She does?
You think?
Lady Gaga?
I don't know.
She provocative? I never noticed provocative.
Never paid attention, really.
Dancing with the Stars, Maria Menounos was kicked off. I have a crush on her, man. They kicked off Maria.
Which one is she? Was she the curly-haired lady?
She is the beautiful Hispanic woman. Kind of looks a little bit like our Channel 19 gal here. What's her name?
Repalo.
Or our Channel 5. She works for Channel 5 in the morning. I can't believe I can't think of her name.
No.
Channel 5.
Well, sad to see her
Montoya.
go.
She looks like Montoya.
Oh.
Allison Montoya.
Okay. All right.
Disney same-sex weddings. Same-sex couples are allowed to hold ceremonies at Tokyo Disney.
Oh, really?
Yep.
In Tokyo.
Yep. ABC lineup unveiled a drama-heavy crop of 10 new shows. They went drama. Beckham was teased by Obama for his underwear line. Oh my goodness! A rare man who can be that tough on the field and have his own line of underwear. What is Obama commenting about this for?
I don't know. Did you catch any of him on The View?
Yes, that's on our menu here.
Oh, okay.
You want to talk about it now?
No, we can go ahead with your. I'm
I'm going to talk about it now.
The thing that I find interesting is, can you imagine JFK going on The Tonight Show? You know, I mean,
I'm telling you.
When did it become chic for presidents to go on talk shows?
And the pandering to the hosts of The View and the audience in The View by Obama.
Yeah.
I mean, I like women. Oh, you do? Oh, that's nice.
You got 3 of them running around the White House. You should like them.
I thought it was disgusting.
Well, you know, I mean, it was really, to me, it looks so set up.
Contrived.
You know, I mean, it's not like you're on 60 Minutes. You're not.
And Joy Behar is an angry woman.
Yeah, she is.
Ugh.
A lot of angry women.
And you know what? It was clear they were talking about doing this for the last couple weeks, and then Joe Biden, that it wasn't, you know, he speaks his mind. He likes Joe, so he wasn't mad at Joe. Oh, BS.
But he went out of his way not to say, Joe really ticked me off when he did that. I mean, you know, that's what he was thinking, really.
Absolutely.
But he was I mean, you could tell his answer, you know, Joe's a very sincere, honest man, yada, yada,
Right.
yada. You never really answered
As
the question.
opposed to you, Mr. President, you're not a really honest and sincere man, I guess.
And going on The View is not like going on CBS Sunday morning shows, you know?
Right.
So,
America's Got Talent, despite the addition of Howard Stern, ratings are down 16%.
well,
Online romance scams cost victims $50 million in 2011. Make them send you a photo ID. Dogs on the beach. Beach debates are occurring at shoreline communities across the USA where most beaches are deemed dog. You know what? I have to admit, if I was on a beach and I stepped in some dog dude, that would kill the beach experience.
yeah, that'd be like having a wet blanket.
Pete Rose today is the one-man show over there in Indiana in Belterre. For $25, you get to hear Pete talk about himself.
That's all?
The show begins at 8 p.m. at the 1,500-seat auditorium at Belterra Casino and Resort.
He's an Aquavelva man.
The Aquavelva man. Texting ban, a statewide texting while driving ban. It's going to be tricky to enforce. Clear the Ohio legislature. By the way, if you're holding a phone up in a car and a cop looks over, they can't tell whether you're dialing a number or texting.
Exactly.
Because dialing a number isn't banned.
Right.
Dun, 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 dun. Nobody. Does anybody know anybody that's been cited for texting while driving? I don't know anybody.
No.
You would think somebody would tell me. Bulldog.
Do you know it is a good law to have? I know you're against regulation in that, but you know what? A train engineer wrecked a train because he was on his cell phone texting a few years ago.
Yeah.
This accident you said the other day with the 2 high school girls from Coleraine.
Sad.
Yeah.
Sad. When we come back, ladies and gentlemen, the American jury, we're going to have sports. And maybe we'll get you in a good mood with our feel-good song on Real Talk 1160. Eric Deters, the Bulldog on Real Talk 1160. I have some Bulldog Nation members' things to report. Rochelle, who is a member of the Black and Bluegrass Roller Girls, they kick off this Saturday, May 19th at 6:30 p.m. at the Bank of Kentucky Center. They kick off their 2012 season. Join the Black and Bluegrass Roller Girls for a night of full contact sports action. They have their clothes on. They will head off their season against the Southern Illinois Roller Girls of guess where? Southern Illinois.
Really? Imagine that.
Cinderella Closet will be featured charity for the bout. They have a charity. They will also be hosting Totally Twisted Prom. Well, that's old. That's May 5th. That's done, over with.
They did that.
They already did that. I have some big news to announce. This within a week or so, I will be leasing more space in this building.
Really?
Where we were going to be moving in all Bulldog's operations.
Is that right?
That is correct.
Going to occupy the floor, huh?
We are going to slowly occupy the entire floor. My dad is hosting. If you support Thomas Massey, who is running for Congress in the 4th District, stop by. Everybody knows where my dad's Green Road farm is in southern Kenton County. Stop on in this evening. He's hosting the congressman at his house. Not a fundraiser, it's a friend raiser.
So the creek where we get the green water is on Green Road?
That is correct. Oh, my God, I never even thought about that.
I never made the connection.
I grew up on Green Road where we harvest green water.
Serendipity.
This is going to be a success.
This is huge.
The stars are lined up. I grew up on Green Road.
I think Green Road deserves Oracle status.
Absolutely. We're going to give it Oracle status. Dear old Dad's hosting a Thomas Massey event. I will be there if you want to stop by. Listen to this. This is, I believe, first of all, I believe in prayer. For example, yesterday, and it's confidential, so I don't want to talk about the details. I've decided that I'm going to leave well enough alone, if you know what I mean, TC. Do you believe that I can show self-restraint?
Who are you? What have you done at Bulldog?
But the hearing that I went to yesterday, the character and fitness hearing, which everybody knew about from the newspaper.
And you look pretty fit.
Yeah. I'll know something very soon, and I'm optimistic. That's all I'm going to say about it.
Okay.
But, my mother-in-law went to church yesterday morning to pray for me for that.
Really?
My father-in-law prayed. I called my mom in Florida, and she prayed. So I believe in the power of prayer.
Yeah.
I also believe in the zodiac. It's just too weird. I mean, the characteristics of a Leo nail me. Do they nail you? You're a Leo too.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the characteristics nail. I also believe in karma. And I also believe in numerology. Now, one of the reasons why I've always felt like that maybe I should be the president of the United States is because of the numbers in my life. True story. I grew up on Green Road. And everybody knows from the Bible and in history, 3s and 7s are very significant.
That's right.
I grew up on this is weird in my opinion. On 333 Green Road. The third son of 7 sons. Born a Leo. How do you like that?
That is cosmic.
The numbers are in my stars.
Yeah. So there are 3s in your future.
Absolutely. Let me see. 2016, 6 is 3 times 2. Would that be a better year for me to run in 2020? I think so.
What?
There's no 3s and 7s divisible into 2020.
That's true. That's true. But see, if you ran in 2020, you wouldn't take office till 2021.
That's correct.
Which 21 is 3 times 7.
That's right.
So you would actually be, putting up your drapes in the Oval Office and a number divisible by 3 and 7.
We got a great Bulldog Nation report in. This is funny from Bob from Aurora. Bulldog, got a great one for you. The Obama people are opening a campaign office in Cheviot right next to an old cemetery. We put up a sign in the cemetery that said, voting for Obama in 2012. I'm calling it Obama's dead and buried campaign office.
Ooh.
By the way, this place was a bar that closed up months ago. It was called Lucky's.
What? Not so for the owner.
Good way to show how the economy works. Closes down so Obama can go in.
A bar called Lucky's.
In sports, Cueto. He was like 119 ERA at one point. He got beat up a little bit yesterday, and they lost 6-2 to the Braves. Next up, the Mets. And they're going to let Mike Leake pitch again, so we know we're going to lose. The Spurs beat the Clippers. The Pacers beat the Heat at home. You know what? Let me tell you about LeBron James, okay? Towards the end of the game, last seconds, they need a shot. He's passing the ball instead of taking the ball to the hoop or taking the shot. It makes me appreciate Michael Jordan all the more. LeBron James, if you want to win a championship, when the game's on the line, don't pass it to Dwayne Wade. Don't pass it to somebody else. You're Mr. 3 times MVP. You take the shot.
Get in there. Show us what you got, baby.
LeBron's great until the game's on the line. Got a little emotional on that. The Kings beat the Coyotes 4-0. 4-0. The Kings are up now to another kick in the heck. The Coyotes. The Rangers and the Devils play soon. Let me see what else is important here. Dun, 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 dun. Blue Jays third baseman Brett Lawrie was ejected after throwing his helmet, which hit umpire Bill Miller. He's probably going to get a suspension.
That's going to leave a mark.
Let me see what else. Albert Pujols drove in 2 runs with infield singles.
Now his total is up to 2.
And get this about NASCAR. Obama economy's killing NASCAR. The days of 25 million sponsorship deals appears to be over as teams are scrambling for support.
Really?
How do you like that? NASCAR's in trouble due to the economy.
They get that green water car out there.
Now, here is some news that's important for me to share with Bulldog Nation. Eating too much sugar can eat away your brain power, according to U.S. scientists who published a study Tuesday showing how a steady diet of high fructose corn syrup sapped lab rats' memory. Maybe that's my problem lately.
Too much sugar?
Too much high fructose sugar.
Yeah.
North Dakota passed Alaska to become the second leading oil-producing state in the nation, trailing only Texas. What's that say about Obama's no-drill policies?
The point is moot.
Oh, my
If we're
goodness.
not drilling, the point is moot.
Who would have ever thought North Dakota, number 2
Right.
in this country?
But if we're not drilling, the point is moot.
Let me see, what else do we have here? In news, this year 22 American-led coalition service members have been killed by men in Afghan uniform, which the military calls green-on-blue attacks. And how do you man, if you can't trust, it's like this serial killer is going, they think this serial killer down in Mississippi might be posing as a cop.
Oh, I heard
Doesn't
that.
it scare the heck out of you with your kids? See, I always know I can take care of myself. I can deal with anything that comes my way. But you worry about your family.
Yeah, you got to deal with the
A
kids.
cop pulls you over your daughter and he's a serial killer.
Well,
gives you cold chills.
Well, you're talking about the was it blue, green on blue?
Yes.
The officer or the Marine soldier from West
Yuling,
Virginia.
that's right.
Yeah.
That's how
same
Yuling
thing.
died.
Yeah. Same.
God love him.
Yeah. We got to get out of there, man.
We got to get out of this place, as that song goes.
That ought to be our fuel song.
We got to get out of this place. Let me see. The increasing role of standardized testing is triggering rebellion from school officials, teachers, and parents who say the system is stifling teaching and learning. Let me tell you something. Kentucky has this standardized tests all the time. Give me a break. Just teach the kids.
Yeah.
Teach the kids. Get rid of all this standardized testing crap. That's the way I feel about it. How do you feel about it?
It is a waste of time, money, and resources.
Rebecca Brooks, the former chief executive of Rupert Murdoch's newspaper Outpost in Britain, and 5 others have been charged with conspiring to pervert the course of justice. Hey, by the way, can you imagine the secrets Rebecca Brooks has? Uh-oh. That would be like somebody indicting Chuck Holbrook. Chuck Holbrook knows where all the bodies are buried for Bulldog's Mafia.
Uh-oh.
I mean, I'd be like, hey, Chuck, man, don't worry. I'll take care of your family while you're in.
Yeah, he'd be like Sammy the Bull. He might be like Sammy the Bull, you know?
Don't talk like that. He would never do that to me.
No.
You watch now. Somebody will
He's a
subpoena
good
Chuck.
soldier. He's a good soldier.
He's a good underboss.
Yeah, he is.
Let me see, what else do we have here? According to experts, the United States is the only country in the world that sentences juveniles to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Well, maybe our juveniles are worse than other places.
Maybe.
A new lawyer for O.J. Simpson filed a new attempt Tuesday to gain his release from a Nevada state prison, alleging the former star was so badly represented by lawyers in his trial that he deserves a new trial. You know what? His lawyer's last case did stink it up pretty bad.
Yeah, but you know what? What are you going to do? When a guy breaks into a hotel, it's kind of hard to defend him, isn't it? I mean, how would you have handled the case? Is there any way to help him?
Here's what you say on that. You just say, what you have is you have him testify, you have him be apologetic, but you say, hey, this wasn't a crime. I was trying to retrieve my own stuff.
Yeah, okay.
By the way, Bulldog Nation member Ryan has got some great common sense. He says, hotter teachers, less testing.
We got in trouble with that already.
When we come back, more Radio Suburbia on Real Talk 1160.
And remember, get your healthy radio addiction from Laura Ingram. I got Dr. Laura on the brain. She comes up after the Bulldog, 9 to noon today on Real Talk 1160. Now, let's get back to the Bulldog.
Eric Deters, the Bulldog on Real Talk 1160. We got some Great stuff this segment. ABC News reported Anna.
They did. They reported Anna.
According to a medical report from George Zimmerman's family doctor, are you ready for this? Diagnosed the day after with lacerations to the back of his head, a closed fracture of his nose, a pair of black eyes, and a back injury. Did the prosecutor just think of this, folks, to appease all these people. They're prosecuting a guy who unfortunately, shot a young man when he suffered 2 black eyes, a broken nose, a cut in his back of his head, a hurt back, and he's going to argue self-defense. Kind of supports self-defense a little bit. He was getting the heck beat out of him. Little Trayvon threw down on him, beating the hell out of old George. Trayvon wasn't expecting a gun, though. Oh, well. I like that.
He's down.
TC, do you believe in renewal of self?
Renewal of self? I don't know. Explain.
Well, you go on vacation, you come back renewed. Do you believe that people can change some of their ways? See, I think you can't change your core personality, but you can change some of your ways.
Yeah, I believe that's true.
I am going to remain the Bulldog. I am going to continue to fight extremely hard for my clients. I am going to continue to be boisterous on the radio.
Where's the change part?
I'm just going to leave all the bar association stuff off the air.
I think that's a wise decision.
Don't you think that's a wise decision?
Yes, I do.
I can do all that I do and just drop that part.
Yeah. You don't need the headache.
I don't need the headache. I need to move on.
Yes.
Thank you for that reaffirmation of my new life.
So you're now a changed man.
I am a changed man.
I can see a difference.
You know what? When I get punched, I'm just going to turn my cheek. Thank you. This is a funny story. This is classic George W. Bush. Apparently, ABC News was on an elevator with him, like, accidentally.
Oh, yeah.
And as the doors were closing, this was like an elevator block from the White House where he was giving a speech. As the doors were closing, he said he was for Mitt Romney. What an endorsement.
Thanks a lot.
The first elevator endorsement of the year. Now, let's go down to Fountain Square in the Fifth Third building. People going up and down the elevator and ask them, well, who do you support? And you wait till the doors close, because it's at that moment of truth, as the doors are closing,
right.
That's when they see the light of who they really want to support.
And that's when the reporters can't rebut with a question or anything. But Mr. He's gone. By the way, you know the Green Water Company is working on a TV production for Memorial Day weekend.
Do you have any of it ready?
No, I just want to give you a preview. Yeah,
okay.
It's going to be the new Wizard of Oz.
That's awesome. I like that.
George Bush is going to be the Scarecrow.
I want you to know, TC, that I have got stock. We ran out of stock certificates, so I've got new stock certificates. So I will be preparing your stock certificate that you can have, and I'll give it to you. We'll have to frame it. We'll have, like, you know what we ought to do, TC? Oh, God, this is great. Your stock certificate of 50 shares of Green Water, and my 1,000 shares. I'm just joking. My 50 shares of Green Water. We ought to frame your stock certificate in there, and my stock certificate in here.
Yeah, I think
that'd be great.
That'd be great.
Each of us with our 50 shares of Green Water, and you watch Wild Man, Rick the Brick. They're going to be, man, we want some shares. We want some shares. No,
hey,
just us. But anyway, how funny is it that the Green Water Company was born from Green Water on Green Road? You can't make this up.
I know it doesn't get any better. Well, it doesn't get any better at all.
You're right.
It never gets better.
We're going to serve Green Water at the party tomorrow night here at the parking lot, 5 to 7.
Save me a bottle of that.
By the way, one of the best parties in my old law office building over in Fort Mitchell, we had a party in the parking lot. There's nothing better than a party in a parking lot. Yeah. It's like old high school, you know?
Right.
It's like you get out of school and you go out and you party in a parking lot.
Yeah, we're out of school. We're having fun in the parking lot. Look at us.
We have some real important national political news that slipped by most people, but not Bulldog Nation news here on Real Talk 1160. Mitt Romney won the Nebraska and Oregon primaries.
Did he really?
Yes.
Amazing.
A lot of people are missing that, but, you know, there you go.
I had my doubts.
Let me see here. Obama is a wealthy man. He has assets. Don't you love that word?
Assets.
Assets.
Yes.
Kind of reminds me of that one of the best movies of all time is with it was Fonzie. Who plays Fonzie?
Hey, Henry Winkler.
Henry Winkler and Michael Keaton, and it was called The Night Shift.
Great movie.
And what it was is he had that what word? It was prostitution. It was prostitution, and he said he had that on the board. Michael Keaton running the board, and how did he broke it down?
Yeah.
You know, pros. You know, shit. Well, forget about that.
The best line in that movie is the guy when Henry Winkler comes in to relieve the other guy, and he's watching the Flintstones.
Right.
And this guy's like, I mean, he's a slacker. He gets up. Barney Rubble. What an actor.
What an actor. What an actor. And he dictates everything. Idea, edible paper.
Right. Yeah.
Anyway, he has assets of $10 million.
Cha-ching.
And what's funny is
million.
he has a hefty stake at J.P. Morgan Chase, where he said yesterday on the View, well, Jimmy Diamond is one of the best bankers, and look what happened to him. And I guys, how incredible is it that this is, it's an internal problem for J.P. Morgan. They're dealing with it themselves. There's no taxpayer money going to bail them out or anything. The FBI wants to investigate. In other words, they won't take care of immigration. They're not going to cooperate with Fast and Furious investigation. But let's investigate a bank losing $2 billion of their own money.
Well, you know what?
Is the FBI going to investigate me the next restaurant I open and closes?
Well, you know, a lot of
it's never going to happen, by the way.
A lot of their clients are insured through the government, which is backed by the taxpayers.
Yeah, but this was assets that they lost. This wasn't funds for their clients.
And you're right. They keep saying that this is not going to affect their clients, not going to affect their clients. We'll see.
We will see. Are you a cynic?
Me? Nah, very. I don't trust government. I don't trust big government, little government, big business, little business. I don't trust. Especially not the mistress.
I know. That's the golden rule. Do not trust the mistress, according to TC.
Well, look at John Edwards. He wouldn't listen to me.
He wouldn't listen to you. You try. I know you had to sit down with him.
Yeah, well.
And it didn't work. Boehner says the increase in government's borrowing limit must be accompanied by spending. Here we go again. Let me see, what else do we have here? A $35 million effort to launch a third-party presidential candidate has hit an impediment. The lack of a high-stature candidate eager to make a run. Gary Johnson from New Mexico is going to run. Gary Johnson, go home. What a boring guy he was. Ron Paul is retiring from the Texas Gulf Coast seat he has held since 1997. 9 people have thrown in to run in the May 29th primary.
Really?
And they're all jumping on board. Let me see. According to the Huffington Post, this is a Mitt Romney quote, President Obama tucked away the Clinton doctrine in his large drawer of discarded ideas, along with transparency and bipartisanship. It's enough to make you wonder if maybe it was his personal beef with the Clintons. I have to say this about Mitt Romney yesterday in Iowa. He gave a great speech.
Did he?
I mean, he hit it on all cylinders. He spoke about Obama being an old-time liberal, and he let it rip. He sounded as good as Michael Keaton in Night Shift.
Wow. It's quite impressive for Mitt Romney.
You know, he also, another word that Michael Keaton in Night Shift broke down was assume.
Yes.
If you assume, you know, you make an out of you and me.
Yeah. Thanks, Michael. Never saw that one before.
And how about he did the Mick Jagger song in the car?
We all do that, don't we?
We all sing in the car.
When we think no one's listening.
I keep holding back. I'm holding it back. When we come back, I've got a great song with some great lyrics from the greatest rock poet of our time on Real Talk 1160. Eric Deters, the Bulldog on Real Talk 1160. Should I be offended that we're the only show on this radio station, TC, or is it a compliment that they have the waiver? It's like Schloy, Gaither, Yinger, and Williams got together and said, you know, we really like the Bulldog, but, you know, sometimes he comes up with this stuff like the armed revolution, and, you know, maybe we ought to, like, waiver him.
Well, it's not as bad as Republicans trying to get reelected in 2008 who didn't want President Bush to campaign for them. It's not that bad. So
now I just want you to know, TC, that I have Sarah now keeping track of what feel-good songs we have used. Because, let me see, 365 days of the year, I guess we got 300 feel-good songs. There's a plenty of good enough songs, and I'm going to take your hint. I've picked out a bunch of songs. When they're over, we'll do your 80s one-hit wonders, I promise. But I want to apologize to you if we've used this song before. But we won't use it again for a long, long, long time.
Not until John Carter comes out on DVD.
Hey, by the way, that would be, is that not the epitome of like a bad movie? Like the movie's so bad and such a bust that the distributors say, sorry, Disney, we don't really want John Carter.
Thanks, but
we don't really want to put that out on DVD. That's a sign of a bad movie.
Let us know how the Avengers work out for you. Call us back.
Yeah, call us back. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, TC says I've used this song way too much.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we played it, like yesterday, last week, a month ago? There are a lot of feel-good songs out there.
You know what? This guy's a poet. I love the words. Lights out tonight. There's trouble in the heartland. Barack. I don't understand. That's blasphemy, TC. Do not commit blasphemy.
I could go for Born to Run.
I want the heart, I want the soul, I want control right now.
Yeah, see, maybe you should rethink that. You know, that control is not all it's cracked up to be, you know? It's a lot of work.
TC, you spent a life waiting for a moment that didn't come, and then came green water. It's going to change your life, TC. How does it feel to be a corporate mogul now?
Well, you know,
50% shareholder of Green Water. Yeah,
I'm hanging out with the Zuckerbergs tonight. So. Yeah, life is good.
You watch. These stock certificates framed on the walls in here, it's going to burn a hole in the rest of the people that work around here. Schloy's going to be offering us gift certificates to Montgomery Inn for a share.
Oh, yeah. He'll be nice to us now.
You're right.
Yeah.
Rob Williams will be... Here it is, right here. I love that line. Poor man want to be rich, rich men want to be king, and a rich man ain't satisfied till he owns everything. Rob Williams will be offering us... Rob Williams will be offering us hockey jerseys.
That'd be nice.
What's Gaither going to offer us for stock?
He'll probably just give us money. You know that guy's loaded.
And
I'm here with those Armani suits every day.
And we're not going to even ask what Shanna... She'll bake some brownies or something for us to win the stock certificate. She'll say, I'll bake brownies for you guys every day for some stock. No.
You're going to have to make a lot of brownies.
If you want some stock, TC can give you some of his. I'm not going to give you any of my stock.
No, now we have to be nice to Shanna, though.
We're always nice to Shanna.
She came up with a great joke yesterday.
That's a great joke.
Yeah, so we have to. Maybe we'll give her half a share.
Nope, yours, not me.
Wow, you're serious.
I'm not giving up any of my shares because I'm going to get rich off Green Water. And you know what? Instead of Green Water Inc., I like the name. It's the Green Water Company.
Yes.
It sounds just so nice.
The
Green Water Company. And by the way, tomorrow from 5 to 7, we will be serving green water as part of our party.
Save me a bottle of that.
Billionaire Donald Trump says the U.S. economy is poised for massive inflation and is warning investors to take steps now to protect themselves. He even questioned the official unemployment numbers. He goes, it's over 20%. It's not 8.3. By the way, yesterday in Greece, investors only took out from Greek. Now remember, Greece is a much smaller country than ours. Investors took out and withdrew $1 billion from Greek banks.
Get that money now.
Can you say run on the banks? Oh, I can't believe I didn't say this. Friday afternoon, it was a pretty day, and you know what? When you work as hard as I do, when you do this, you don't even feel guilty. I do this about 3 or 4 times a year, is probably all I do it. I basically blew off Friday afternoon. And my wife and I went down to the banks for the first time. And we had lunch. I can't believe I forgot to share this on Monday. We had lunch out on the deck at the Christian Moorline brewery place. Oh, what a view And what a beautiful, beautiful view. We got to get them to advertise. Not as good as the Montgomery Inn or the Grandview Tavern View and all those other restaurants. But anyway, and then we walked around, and I'm telling you right now, it's nice that the banks finally has happened, and those restaurants down there, I think, are going to be successful. Not only the tourists walking down, but I tell you what, it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt all the downtown restaurants are going to get hurt. The Newport on the Levee restaurants are going to get hurt. I mean, because after a Reds game, those people used to scatter everywhere. They're just going to walk to one of their restaurant.
Yeah, if it's more convenient, that's going to be the key.
But it was beautiful. The parks looked good. I mean, it was my first trip down there to explore. And I'm thinking about that it could be the first retail green water company establishment.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? They walk in. What do you got here? We have green water.
We have green water with eggs, green water with bacon, fried green water.
Green water with ham, spam.
Green water with spam, that's it. A crowd pleaser, definitely.
And you know what? We have to decide, who is going to be the spokesperson for green water. Is it going to be a famous person from today, like, I will indulge green water if it pumps you up? Or will it be Sammy Davis Jr., somebody from yesteryear?
It could be Sammy Davis Jr.
I mean, here's, okay.
The green water man.
Let's have a competition here. First of all, we'll see who's on it. This is Arnold Schwarzenegger. I just want you to know that after I got done with the housekeeper, I always drank green water. Buy green water today.
Okay, babe, that was beautiful, but green water's the official water of the Rat Pack. The rats won't even drink it, babe.
That's good. That's good. How about me and Bill Clinton endorse green water?
We could have.
I tried to get Monica to wash that out in a blue dress with green water. She said green water on blue dress would make orange. Or purple. I don't know. What's it make? What's green and blue make? Purple or orange? So she didn't let me wash it out. Look what happened to me. If I had green water, I would have been saved.
He could have run for a third term. Okay, maybe not.
Or how about Robin Leach? He's not doing anything. Champagne dreams and caviar wishes. Drink green water.
There are fish eggs in it, actually. There are fish eggs in the green water.
And larvae.
Yeah.
But nothing artificial. There's no high content fructose syrup.
That's true. None of that.
None of that corn syrup.
Don't have to worry about your kids getting obese.
General Motors, Government Motors, is trying to derail a little bit Facebook's big old IPO. GM announces, now this is mean. They announced this right before the IPO, that they're going to stop advertising on Facebook paid ads because they think it had little impact on consumers' car buying. Wow. Thank you, GM.
Okay, that stock just went down about $20.
I mean, well, no, they increased the initial offering price from $34 to $38.
Was that before GM made the announcement?
No. It was before. It was before.
Okay.
I think they're going to say, well, screw GM. You know what Dodge will probably say? I'll do it. Ford will do it.
Get Chrysler.
All I got to say is this, folks. It's not going to hurt to advertise on a place with that many people go. And by the way, it's not going to be a passing fad. I don't care what anybody. The people that use Facebook love Facebook.
They do.
They love the interactive. I mean, when you think about, like, right now, if you are, like, working on a charity event or an event for your company or whatever, it is a mechanism that you can reach so many people so quickly and let everybody know it's not going to go away. Families use it. I mean, like a family unit of, let's say, 4 married people and their in-laws and everything else. You could say, hey, well, what's going to happen on Easter? It's just too easy of a tool and too effective of a tool. It's not going to be a fad. It's here to stay.
If I was on Facebook, I could tell everybody, all my Facebook friends, listen, call me. I lost your number. My cell phone is soaking wet. And I could retrieve all those, because I can't get those numbers back right now.
TC, do you have my number?
No, I did, somewhere.
When we come back, more radio superbity on Real Talk 1160.
Don't forget the Huckabee Report coming up in about 11 minutes at 8:30 here on Real Talk 1160. And now back to the Bulldog.
Eric Deters, the Bulldog on Real Talk 1160. Following back up with that Facebook comment that I made. This is just my own personal observation.
Yeah.
We really got into Facebook pretty heavy. I did a couple years ago. And You know, I have a team that actually helps me do it, and you know, I do my newsletter and I do my blog postings, and then we post those, and I come up with stuff during the course of the day that I send to somebody to post and whatnot. And you are, in my humble opinion, if you are in business and you're not tied in and tuned in to social networking, you are making a huge mistake. If your business is already doing well, you can even do better. And there's no cheaper, more direct advertising approach than the social networking thing. I mean, because there are already people connected to you. I mean, I have over 25,000 Facebook friends, Twitter followers, newsletter, email lists, and I get business out of the yin-yang from it. And you don't even have to, let me give you an example, TC. It's all relationships. This is going to sound corny, but it's all about relationships. And if somebody is your friend because they like your politics or they like your history or they like whatever it is, and then they need a realtor or they need a lawyer or they need somebody to mow their grass or they're more apt to say, hey, my buddy so-and-so is, it works. It works.
I can see it working for you being an attorney, but why does a plumber need to be on Facebook?
Well, see,
why does Walmart need to be on Facebook?
See, I respectfully disagree. A plumber, if you're a plumber and you're on Facebook, you know, you then, those Facebook friends, if they have a sink that gets backed up, who are they going to call? They're going to call the person that they know, the Facebook, especially if you let them know that that's what you do. I mean, one of the first things we do now, if we need a service, I do two things. I'm not kidding you. Is it an advertiser? I'm very loyal to our advertisers. Is it an advertiser on the radio station?
Yeah.
Like, for example, my stepson had a dents from his hail. We went to Don Metalka,
okay.
Reincarnation Auto Body.
Yeah.
You know, I would refer anybody that needed a plastic surgeon to Dr. Kurtzman. You know, we're having Montgomery Inn cater the party tomorrow night. I mean, I'm very conscious of what can I do to promote advertisers here on the radio station. Then after that, I go to Facebook. In other words, it's like, well, there's not a plumber advertising a radio station. By the way, if you're a plumber and like to advertise on a radio station, please call Patty Euclid. But anyway, the bottom line is that I just think you need to be there. And I want you to know that, like, we started a social media company, and the whole idea and the concept is to say, hey, you join, like a plumber. Do you know if a plumber were to join our syndicate, they automatically get all my Facebook friends. Okay, so why wouldn't a plumber want to have contact with 25,000 people that the Bulldog's doing business with?
Oh, I'm sure they would. Now, but the thing is, we call it social networking. It's not social networking. It's business networking.
Correct.
That's different. What I'm talking, okay, with the
but you do it subtly. Here's what people don't want to do. If I was posting law stuff that I was doing, like some of these dumb lawyers do, I shouldn't tell a secret. If you're throwing law stuff, you know what? People forget that you connect to somebody as a human being. So if somebody likes me because they like my humor or my politics, they're going to more apt to be using me as a lawyer.
Okay, but now not every plumber is going to have his political stance on. He might just have pictures of his vacation.
Well, here's
or pictures of.
See, you don't know how it works though. Yeah. Here's what that plumber does. See, that plumber can look over my newsletter and blog, and they can say, "Hey, I like what Bulldog does with pop culture." And all we do is say, well, would you like us to post on your social networking the things that we do for pop culture? And he'd say, yeah, my friends would love that stuff. So then you give him what we do. See, my newsletter and blog is a ready-made Facebook machine.
But it's more. But now yours is for entertainment, but it's also business.
Yes.
If we're going to have a business network, that's great. If we're going to have a social network, they should be separate. Look at how many people get in trouble because of stuff they do socially that's coming up on Facebook.
You just don't put stuff you shouldn't put. Let me give you an example. There was a head-on car collision up in Ohio. Head-on car collision. Guy seriously hurt. Guy contacted me. I've never met him. They contacted me and they said, Bulldog, Facebook friend, such and such happened. You know, sign them up. They're now a client. And guess what? They're a Facebook friend. Yeah. Now, all the way in Dayton. I've never met him before.
But that's great for business.
Well, I've met him now, but not before.
Yeah. And I mean, and that.
But what I'm trying to say, though, is see what you're missing the point, TC, is you don't focus on business. See, you keep missing the point. If you are somebody's friend,
Yeah.
you're more apt to want to do business with them. It's called subconscious sell, is what I call it.
Okay.
You don't worry about like throwing, like, okay, let's say I wanted to be your lawyer. If I said, I'm your lawyer, I want to be your lawyer, as opposed to just being nice to you.
Gotcha.
If I'm just nice to T.C. Summers, and you know that I'm a lawyer,
It's easier to ask.
it's
you a
easier for
question
you
than
to say,
call you up and say,
"Hey,
"Can you help
Bulldog,"
me out?"
and that happened the other day with your friend.
Right,
You say,
right.
"Hey, Bulldog, I got a friend," and guess I'm gonna. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, okay, I agree with
That's
that.
how you use Facebook.
Okay, the problem I have is like the teacher who was on vacation and someone took
I
a
agree
picture
with
of
that.
her,
I agree with that.
glass of wine, and the school fired her.
But you see, that's just discretion. You can't be dumb enough to put that stuff on.
Well, I mean, who knows if she did it or someone took a picture and said,
I
"Here
know.
are pictures of our vacation."
Well, I guess I don't have to worry about that because I don't go anywhere. I really don't. I don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a boring kind of guy.
But I think that it should be off limits for an employer to look at your Facebook page if it's a social network.
Right.
If they want to look at
Let
your
me-
business page, that's different.
Let me tell you another tip. I'm full of tips today for
Yes.
people. Ladies and gentlemen, the American jury, if you're in business, don't try to please everyone. It's impossible. Be yourself. Focus on what you do. It's like me, okay? I accept, and it's almost liberating when you've had, if somebody's, I have friends who are big Obama supporters who are still my friends. Denny Allardine, Gwen Billingsley, there's people who still like me, and we just agree, and we laugh about it. And I like those kind of people. They're not like Lynn from Mason. I mean, they respectfully disagree with things that I say, and we still have fun, okay?
Friendly debates.
Friendly debates. But I have to admit that anybody who's a militant Obama person is not going to be a Bulldog Nation member. And guess what? That's okay. Because, you know, as a lawyer, if the people that like what I have to say, I'm going to have lots of legal business.
True. That's true.
You don't need to please everybody. As soon as and that's what drives people nuts, like about Rush Limbaugh or Bill O'Reilly. What they don't get is they're not worried about pleasing. And once you do that, it is liberating, and you focus on the people that you do connect with.
That's true. That is true.
Also, folks, tomorrow, and I'm sorry I forgot to bring because I did something last night relaxing that I haven't done in a long time either. I read in bed before I went to sleep. And I've got some great leadership principles to share with you. I'll do it tomorrow from Theodore Roosevelt. Let's see what Prankster has. Prankster, what do you got for us on Real Talk 1160?
I have a question, Bulldog.
Go ahead.
Well, it's about a court transcript.
Okay.
It says that the Bulldog growled at the judge and barked at a prosecutor and tried to bite a female prosecutor. Is that true?
That I don't have no idea what the heck you're talking about.
Growled at a prosecutor?
I have no idea.
It sounds cool.
What
but
the heck? I think that was not Prankster, by the way.
It was Prankster at first.
It didn't sound like
It
Prankster.
sure didn't, did it?
They tried to trick us. This is the Bulldog on Real Talk 1160.
I'd really like to see you growl at a prosecutor.
Grrr, here, I got a prosecutor. Grrr. Ooh, Barracuda. Eric Deters on Real Talk 1160. You know what, ladies and gentlemen, the American jury, there's always news to report. I think we've covered the main topics. And joining us now.
Oh my God!
What?
Guess who's here?
Who?
Plastic Man!
What's up, Doc?
Plastic Man!
Dr. Kurtzman from the Kurtzman Plastic Surgery Group, and he's a Renaissance man. We don't just talk about plastic surgery when he appears, but I have a very important question to ask Dr. Kurtzman as we begin the final 30 minutes of our show. I used to go get allergy shots because I just got sick and tired of all the allergy. And you know what? They worked. I went and got tested. They told me I was allergic to dog. I was allergic to oak. And I started getting these shots once a week, and you go once a month. I mean, I'm telling you right now, it was worth it. And I was sitting in the lobby at this allergy doctor, and they would come out and say, Eric Deters? And like there'd be 5 or 6. They don't look, is that Eric Deters, And, you didn't know if they were like looking at you because, they like you, they hate you, whatever. But they're like, what's he here for? I actually told the nurse, I said, you guys really ought to just use first names. They changed their policy. They'd come out and say, Eric, Bob, Bill. And I thought to them, oh, my God, look at the board. Look who's calling. I got to ask this question. She's calling back. But I got to ask this question before I get to this very important caller. Dr. Kurtzman, what do you think about that in your office? Because you're doing plastic surgery, some sensitive, like a woman there getting a boob job. You come out and say, Linda Simpson, I mean, or do you come out and say Linda? What is your policy?
Yeah, our policy is not to say the entire name. Actually, that's appropriate in all offices. They shouldn't do that. When you have a sign-in sheet, you should only put a first name, or if you put both names, it should be a tear-off so it's not sitting there for the next people to see. There should be a lot of privacy. In my office, it's very private, very small. We can bring people in and out without being seen by anybody else. It's very, very important, especially in my business. So for you, we would just say, "Hey, Bulldog," and then no one would know who you were.
So big, God. Oh, thank.
No, but it is
That
very, very
was
important
a joke.
and private.
Hold on. Now, listen. Before we get back to this topic, this lady called in, I guess a week or so ago, about the teacher things. Jessica from Anderson, welcome back.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm doing very well. I was just calling in. I'm sorry I haven't been listening to your show this morning, but I had an email message this morning that said you've made a couple of comments about people that are doubting me, and I knew that would happen. I knew that's how you guys are on the west, in the Midwest. I just knew that would happen.
Well, we were talking about Facebook, and like TC thinks people put too much stuff on Facebook. Social media is not any good, and I believe in Facebook. Jessica, do you have a Facebook page?
I do. I do have a Facebook page.
Do you go by your real name, or do you have an alias name?
I go by my real name on Facebook. I believe in social media also, not for communicating with, the things I was talking about the other day, but I do believe in social media. I think it's an awesome, awesome avenue for people to communicate and network.
Let me set this up, Jessica. You called in a couple weeks ago, and the issue was that you used to teach in California schools, that you had engaged in a couple relationship with some students that were over 16 years old, that you said in California they weren't tough on this and it wasn't too big of a big deal, and you didn't understand what all the hoopla was. Did you ever use Facebook and I think you said that you didn't do text messaging or Facebooking or anything with these students. Is that right?
That's correct. I mean, the choice that was made between myself and my partners was a choice between us, and it can be so distorted if people see it and read it otherwise. So I just tried to limit people getting in our business. So we communicated in person, and then sometimes we would, write old-fashioned notes to one another. Do you ever
use Facebook, social media? I mean, do you have any young males that are your Facebook friends?
I do, and actually one of them is one of my friends from California. But we try to steer clear of that subject.
You've moved on past that.
But I have met people. I told you I'm single, and I have met people on Facebook. I do use it as an avenue for, an online type dating. I
got to ask you one final question before I let you go, because Bulldog Nation member Jim tells me that TC is right, that Bruce Springsteen is a hack, that Bob Dylan's the greatest poet, not Bruce Springsteen. I want to know from Jessica from Anderson, Springsteen or Dylan?
I'm sorry, Dylan.
Oh, my gosh. Well, thanks for calling. That teacher called in. Now, there's the big discussion. I think she's legit, because the way she called in and was talking about California when she was a teacher, it sounded real. Patty says no. TC?
I don't know.
I believe her. She sounds like a really crazy teacher. Oh, gosh.
Where'd that come from? George, get out of there. What are you
George
doing?
Michael raised $1 million. Again, Barack Obama, he only raised $1 million. This George, $1 million. George Clooney, $15 million.
Yeah.
Have you done any surgery on George Michael?
I'm not allowed to talk about that.
One of my favorite movies of all time is Something Last Night. About last night. Jim Palucci, Rob Lowe, Demi Moore before breast augmentation. And I want to tell you something. There's a line in the bar where Jim Palucci is talking to Rob Lowe, and he says to Rob Lowe, "You are too pretty. Girls do not want to date guys that are prettier than they are." And you know what? I do not have man crushes at all. But I can tell you right now, I wish I looked like Rob Lowe, George Michael. These guys, I mean, incredible.
They are handsome men. Yes, they are.
Which I don't understand why George would choose the path that he's chosen. No offense to those who have chosen that
I
path.
don't know if it was a choice. That's a topic for another
genetic
day.
predisposition.
It could be. Who knows?
Who knows?
All right, let's talk serious. What are you promoting today on the show, Dr. Kurtzman from Kurtzman Plastic Surgery?
Well, what I'd like to talk about today, we often talk about female breast reduction, which is a very common procedure. But the one thing that people don't talk about is male breast reduction. There's a lot of males, a lot of pubescent males in that age group that have male breast enlargement. They're afraid to take their T-shirts off at school. They don't shower after gym. In the summer, they don't go to the pool because they're afraid to take off their T-shirts. They'll swim in it. They're very private about it. We do a surgical procedure as an outpatient, sometimes right in the office, under local anesthesia, often and many times under a sedation, to remove that tissue. And all males do have breast tissue. It's just some have too much, just like females sometimes have too much breast tissue.
I have to ask you a serious question. I was a weightlifter.
Yes.
Worked out. I built up to where I was bench pressing over 300 pounds. And my wife told me, you shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be doing that. I stopped lifting weights to that capacity. Now I have some of those issues. Can I exercise this away, or is it non-exercisable away?
Well, the problem is that it's real breast tissue a lot of times, and it's just as a female who can't make her breasts smaller by exercise, males can't either. Some males have too much just from being obese, overweight, but many times even the overweight people, the obese people lose the weight, they still have some residual which requires surgery. I don't agree with your wife. I think that exercising is fine. I don't think that causes it. There is a relationship between steroids and male breast enlargement. There is a relationship.
I have never taken steroids. I was only injected with B12 from that syringe.
You and Roger Clemens. It's got your DNA on it. But also, so it's a surgical procedure. There's also an association with marijuana and male breast enlargement.
You hear that, you pot smokers? Your boobs are going to grow out of control.
But I'll operate on young men at a fairly early age, somewhere in the 14 to 16 range, where others say, just wait, and they go away. But it's a very, very sensitive age. Get teased at school, get teased by people. I've also operated on men in their 50s and 60s that have had it for their life, that have always been embarrassed. It really can change a person's personality, just like some of the other procedures we do, where they really become more comfortable, less ashamed. They can go out, they can go to the swimming pool and do what all the other boys are doing. But a very big problem, very common procedure, but most people dress to hide it, so you don't even know about it.
Well, I can tell you right now, I can understand why people would want to take that, get rid of it. Just like, you feel better about yourself, you look better about yourself, you ought to do it. The only procedure you guys do that I do not support is that big upper lip that women get. And I'm like, why do women even think that that looks good?
Well, the ones that look good are the ones you don't know that I did it, which is pretty much all of them. I think
so
some
you do
people,
it better than others.
I like to think so. I'm actually one of the
What is the
national
fascination of men with big lips?
I mean, it's just like
Is it a
anything
kissing
else.
thing?
It's just an attractive part to the woman, just like other parts of the body. But it's just our social mores and norms.
Looking at this perfect facial structure that I have, could you improve this face?
Some things are just, like being on Mount Rushmore.
Shut up, TC!
You'll be the fifth face on Mount Rushmore.
This is the Bulldog on Real Talk 1160.
Remember, if you have to leave us at 9 o'clock to be at work, don't forget you can listen live online. Just go to realtalk1160.com. Click on Listen Live, and you can also use the TuneIn Radio app on your iPhone or Droid. And now, let's get back to the Doc and the Bulldog.
Eric Deters, the Bulldog on Real Talk 1160, delivering radio superbity. In our final segment here, I just want to say that Bruce Springsteen and Bob Dylan, you can't understand either one of them when they sing. Bruce has gotten better over the years.
They're both good in their own right.
I still say Bruce is the better poet.
That's W-R-I-T-E.
Poor men want to be rich, rich men want to be king, king's not satisfied till he own everything.
But remember back when you were in high school?
Yes.
Not just high school, but growing up. You know how kids are brutally honest with you?
Yes.
You were talking about male breast augmentation, that kind of thing.
Reduction.
Reduction. Just imagine how when you're in school, The tall kid gets picked on. The kid with freckles gets picked on. Whatever it is that you have, that's a little bit different from somebody else.
Thank God I didn't have anything to get picked on.
You were lucky. You don't know what that's like because you were perfect, right? But
no, I wasn't perfect. I wasn't perfect, but I'm just glad I wasn't picked on like that. I feel sorry for. You're right. The fat kid gets picked on. The goofy kid, the sissy kid. Everybody.
In physical. I mean,
and I was lucky. None of my kids were that way either.
Well, the fat kids don't get picked on anymore because there's only one skinny kid in the class anymore.
That's a good point.
That's true. That's very true. The other thing that gets picked on a lot are protruding ears, prominent ears, where your ears stick out. There's so many different names. There you go. I mean, you look at all the caricatures for people.
Jimmy Kimmel even picked on them.
But that's a very common operation too, to set the ears back, and especially in younger kids. We do that as young as 6. Because even they know once you start first grade, you get teased. Mm-hmm. And I know personally, I had freckles as a kid, and I got teased all the time.
Dr. Kurtzman, I don't get all caught up on guests and whatnot because I know that Bulldog Nation really just cares about my opinion. However, I make exceptions. I make exceptions, and one of those exceptions is you, of course, and Ropke. John Bick from Ropke was awesome. Don Hubbard from Journal News. By the way, if you need to purchase a used car or have your car worked on, check out Ropke Automotive. Anyway, Brad Winstrup. Is part of Wellington Orthopedic, and I understand starting June 1st, Wellington Orthopedic is going to advertise. Could you bring Brad Winstrup in sometime during your segment, and we can have Doc and Doc, 2 docs at the same time in here? We'll kick Brad Amster out.
Yeah, Brad's a great guy. He works for Wellington Orthopedics. He works out of the surgery center I work out of. I see him a whole bunch. He recently got married. He's very excited. I mean, to beat Gene Schmidt was huge, and now he's going on to the general election in November. I think he's got a great shot of being in Washington next year. He's really a wonderful guy, he's still, I believe, a reservist in the Army. He was in Iraq. I mean, yeah.
He's already won the election. You don't have to keep selling him, okay?
Well, yeah, he's already won the election, I think. Podiatric surgeon. Just a salt of the earth, really nice guy, very easy to talk to.
Perfect member of Bulldog Nation. We are salt of the earth kind of people.
He is, and I think he'll be great in Congress. I'm really looking forward to that. But absolutely, I will ask him, and I would love to bring him in here.
TC tries to recruit members of the Bulldog Nation that are highfalutins because all he's worried about is billionaires to invest in the Green Water Company, where I like to keep it on the down. By the way, I just want you to know, Doc, I don't care how much money you offer us, we are not going to sell you a share of the Green Water Company.
Well, I think that's going to be a bigger IPO than Facebook this week.
Oh, yeah, you watch.
Well, we won't go till next year, but I think that's our goal, is to pass them up. For example, we've already decided Facebook set their per share price at $38. We're going to be $39.
Yeah.
And then I think you can buy Facebook with all your proceeds.
I mean, another one of those funny movies, Something About Mary, when that crazy guy is driving a car with Ben Stiller, and he's going, we're going to come out with 7-minute abs. Well, there's already 8-minute abs. I know. This is 7-minute abs. And Ben Stiller goes, well, what if somebody comes out with 6-minute abs? No, man, it's 7-minute abs.
we need some 6-hour energy drink, too,
right? So I just want you to know that we're a little concerned. We met with the investment bankers at J.P. Morgan Chase the other day, because you got to have an investment banker when you set up your IPO. And they raised the question about, are you concerned at all about somebody coming out with orange water? And we said, heck no, nobody knows anything about orange water. Orange water isn't in ponds, it's green water.
Exactly. Orange water is more like a high-level security alert.
Yeah, it's nuclear fallout would be orange water.
Hey, could we bribe you and Brad Winstrup? It might be illegal to do that. Maybe I shouldn't have said it on the radio. Could Brad Winstrup and you, for, I don't know, some small token of our appreciation, sign off on our IPO statement that you guys are saying that the green water is medically okay to digest? If you drink green water, you will not get sick. You know, maybe we will give you some shares of green water to do this.
We know back when the hot dogs first came out, the guy that made the hot dogs had a doctor come down to Nathan's and eat a hot dog, and everyone saw the doctor to prove that they were okay.
Oh yeah, cigarettes also were. Doctors were advertising cigarettes.
Hey, look how good look at this cigarette down there being all. And then Dr. Coop, the Surgeon General, comes out and says, this is as addicting as heroin. What?
But if we could get Dr. Kurtzman, if we could just get a picture, put it on Facebook of him drinking green water and, still having a heartbeat the next day, man, that would be great.
I would trade that just for a lifetime supply.
There you go.
I don't even want shares, just that good stuff.
We'll put that in a small print of the IPO.
The problem is that
They were only given a lifetime supply to say the green water was good for you.
But it wouldn't be very much if it's a lifetime supply, believe me. If you're drinking that stuff every day for life. We're not going to hand out too many cases. You won't be around that.
That's how Methuselah lasted so long.
Well, if you need some plastic surgery work done, why do they call it plastic surgery? Do you use plastic?
For some things we do, actually, but plastic is actually way back in the 30s the specialty was invented, and plastic comes from the Greek or Latin to shape or to mold.
Really?
So it really has to do a lot of reconstruction. And so many advances in plastic surgery
It was called plastica.
are from wars. It has nothing to do with the thermoplastics we know about today. That was probably named for similar reasons, to shape or to mold.
So you're just taking the origin of the word.
Yes, it's from the word origin.
Now, what would you do? Say if Robert Downey Jr., Iron Man, came in. What kind of surgery would you do on Iron Man?
I'd probably give him a shave.
I mean, you could do plastic surgery. Would it be metal surgery on him? Or?
There you go, iron surgery.
Oh, I got another question for you. Have you ever had like a real bad person, like a serial killer or a very evil person, terrorist, come into your place and say, I want my face redone?
Face off.
You've been watching too much Nip Tuck.
I just wanted to know what happened to you.
It has not. People want to look like themselves. They don't want to look like other people. That's a lot of the bad plastic surgery that people talk about. These people, these ridiculous-looking upper lips that people talk about, where their faces don't look like themselves, the Bruce Jenners of the world, the Priscilla Presleys, where they don't look like they used to look like. And I think that's terrible. I want people to look like themselves, but a refreshed self, a younger self. If somebody looks at one of my patients and said, gee, you had a facelift, to me, that's a failure. They should say, gee, you look great, you've been on vacation, you're doing your hair different, you look rested. Never did you have surgery.
Whoever did Christy Brinkley did a great job, because Christy Brinkley looks good. Raquel Welch looks good. Kenny Rogers, Bruce Jenner, not so much.
Not so much.
The Kardashians did in Bruce Jenner, but that's a whole other story.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
they
I was just curious if you had not just consultation, but counseling, I guess is a better word for people that want to do more ridiculous type.
Yeah, I mean, it's very rare. Most people are very, very reasonable. Occasionally we do get people that are strippers that want to be quite large, which is not to my taste, but they'll bring in pictures of what they want to look like. You give them what they want, and they're actually very happy with the results. Again, not my taste, but that's what they want. 99%.
You're not into super duper, huh?
I'm into making people happy but reasonable. I won't do ridiculous things. I won't make people look like cats. I will make people look good and natural and normal. And that's what 99.9% of people want.
I want this to look natural and normal. Every dog has their day. I hope today and tomorrow is yours. We'll be back tomorrow for Radio Superbity. Remember, if you need me, 859-250-2527 or eric@ericdeters.com. Bulldog, Twitter. Go ahead, Doc.
Dr. Kurtzman's number?
Well, thank you. Kurtzman Plastic Surgery, 513-891-4440, 513-891-4440.
I love you, Bulldog Nation. Real Talk 1160.